Hi guys, I'm Lucy. Like and subscribe to hear my crazy story. Growing up, I had a happy life, and I basically had it all. Only one thing was missing: siblings. And since my parents were always busy, I felt lonely. So I came up with new ideas every time. Once when I was 4, I asked my driver to push my life-sized doll in a stroller to my dad's office.
Oh no, she pooped. Dad, can you please change my baby sister's diaper?
Oh, honey, I can't do.
Remember when you cleaned my bum in the middle of the forest with a leaf?
My dad looked horrified.
You've got this.
You can imagine my dad's embarrassment in the middle of the meeting. When I turned 8, I'd grab the neighbor's kids and beg my parents to bring them home, but they weren't convinced. So I did everything to let them stay with me as long as I could, until stop trying to kidnap my kid. Put down that Prada bag filled with jelly beans and get your butt home now. As they left, I started bawling, and my parents had enough embarrassment. So the next month, they adopted 6-year-old Harrison from foster care. I was ecstatic.
Welcome to your new house.
Whoa, it's so big. Is it an orphanage?
He was so cute, but he didn't play with the toys our parents bought for him. Instead, he picked up the cans from the bin and played with those. He also kept wearing the same clothes until they got worn out. My heart just swelled. So I stepped up and decided everything for him since then. But outside the house, his innocence quickly made him a target for bullies. Like in primary school, this one kid, Finn, kept picking on him. Once, when he made Harrison wipe up his shoes dipped in dog poop, hey, gross! I went full demon mode on this kid and sent him packing. But the teacher caught me giving him a black eye.
Lucy Godot Raffaelli, my office now.
I was in deep trouble, and I got detention for 3 weeks, and Mom had me doing chores for twice as long. But it was all worth it. Finn never messed with Harrison again. But when Harrison turned 12, he bought ponies for all the pretty girls to get their attention.
This one's for you. Her name is Chestnut, and she loves carrot-flavored ice cream.
Gosh, oh my gosh, thank you! As a responsible sister, I'd have to go around to all those girls' houses later to fix the damage. Chestnut's coming back with me. Hey, is that scarf cashmere? Give that to me. Stay away from Harrison, understood? I was genuinely worried that if a girl bats her eyelids at him, he'd buy her Prada bags and skirts from Miu Miu. In high school, the stakes got higher. There were more bullies who'd trick him, but the biggest threat was the hotties trying to charm him. Thankfully, my boyfriend Justin was 100% genuine. He was handsome and the best basketball player. Harrison is totally gonna get his butt whooped.
And you're going to follow him around with the baseball bat beating up anyone who tries?
I wish, but I have my own stuff going on too. But maybe if you could.
Nuh-uh, no way. You can hire someone like Nathan. It's not like you don't have the cash for it. I was kidding, Lucy.
I sprinted off looking for Nathan. Oh, meet Nathan, the editor of our school paper. He's your typical dork, but don't underestimate him. This guy knows his work best. I remember in middle school, someone was smearing boogers on all the walls, and it turned out it was our cruelest teacher, Mr. Wobblebottom, and Nathan caught him in the act.
Say cheese!
So that meant if I wanted the inside scoop on any girls digging their claws into Harrison, he was the guy to ask. But when I went to the school newspaper office to find him, I didn't see him. I saw this muscled blonde guy with a nose piercing. Then I realized that it was Nathan. Wow, talk about a glow up. Puberty did him wonders.
If it isn't the Queen Bee, what are you doing
I
here?
wanted you to keep me updated on any girls getting close to Harrison, and I'm willing to pay anything. I slid an envelope bursting with cash across the table, but Nathan just laughed.
An info for an info. Tell me more about Justin.
Justin, why?
Guys want to be him, girls want to be with him, so you feed me the info on his lifestyle, and I'll help spy on your little brother. Deal?
I wanted to smack Nathan so bad, but now I'm stuck. Spilling the tea about Justin isn't a big deal, and it might even get him more fans. For the next month, I got the inside track on any girls who had their eyes on Harrison and shut him down early. And all I had to do was listen to Justin a bit more when he started gushing about his new protein powder or whatever. But things got messy when the first article on Justin came out.
Gains come my ways.
He stopped me at my locker and shoved his phone in my face.
Do you know anything about this?
Your special no-carb meal plan?
In the school paper. How'd they find out about that? I eat my lunch in the gym storeroom just to keep it a secret. Only 2 people know about it. My trainer and you.
Don't get so worked up. It's just a diet.
Meal plan. This is what determines if you're Olympic level or a local league scrub. You just don't get it. You never did.
He stormed off, and before I could say anything, out of nowhere, Nathan peeked from behind.
Don't worry about it. I heard something else that's going to blow your mind.
He told me that Harrison and this girl Natalie have been secretly meeting up after school.
And just today, she got a new iPhone.
Okay, what's the big deal? Nathan said Natalie was on a scholarship, and there was no way she could afford the latest iPhone. That leech!
This would be a huge scoop if we can prove that she's using Harrison
for his money. Oh, she definitely is.
And since you're Harrison's sister, I thought you could get in close and help me expose Natalie.
Deal. The first step was to figure out just what Natalie had been scamming my brother out of. Nathan got Natalie's locker code, so I snuck into the locker room during my free period and took a look inside. Books, gym clothes, stationery, nothing I could pin on her. On the back of the locker door was a picture of her and Harrison with a big love heart drawn around it. Blech. And then, what really stood out was a folder called Operation Moolah. Bang! Just then, the door slammed shut in my face. It was Natalie. Find anything you like, thief? Funny you say that, when you're the one who's been eyeing up my brother's wallet. Oh yeah? And what did I take from him? And then, as I looked at her hand on the locker door, I saw Natalie was wearing a glittering diamond ring. Ah, get off me! How'd you get this then? Dumpster diving? The crowd started murmuring, and I waited to see Natalie crumble, but she didn't. She looked more confident than ever. Harrison did give it to me as a promise ring. He gave this to me because he wants to go steady from now on. And before I could react, a couple of girls squealed, running out of the crowd to cheer for Natalie. Ugh. I went back to Nathan to tell him what happened.
Not gonna lie, this is still great stuff for me.
Not helping, Nathan. I need a new way to expose Natalie. Just then, he pulled out a drawer filled with cables, microphones, and cameras. How do you have all these?
My friends lent it to me in exchange for information.
So this was how he got his info for the gossip column. Over the next week, we tried to follow Natalie wherever possible, but she wouldn't let us get close at all. Until one day, we saw her and her friends go to a primary school's playground. We brought a long-distance microphone with us. He helped me with setting it up. Huh, I can really hear them.
Wow, what's that?
I threw the headphones off before my eardrums burst. Some snotty kid was yelling right into the microphone. Go away from here. It's not cotton candy. I immediately realized my mistake. The kid started bawling his eyes out. Natalie and her friends went around at the voice and they started walking towards us. Oh God, what should I do? They kept walking closer to us. So I pulled Nathan close and kissed him. I can't have her thinking I'm following her, can I?
Ugh, get a room.
I pulled away from Nathan, startled. Just then, Natalie and her friends turned around and walked away.
Wow, that was great.
Not another word. I was bewildered as I was still with Justin. So when I got home, I texted and called Justin, but he didn't respond or return any of my calls. But it's not like I wanted it. I just did it to show Natalie that we have better things to do than stalk her. I hesitantly shoved the feelings away and moved on to the next plan. Harrison was taking Natalie on a date to a street festival. Nathan had an interview with some of the staff there and scored us a mascot costume. Unfortunately, they only had one spare, a Chinese dragon made for 2 people. I called dibs on the front because, let's be real, I didn't want to be stuck staring at his butt all the time. We followed them around for 2 hours, but the most he bought her was some cotton candy and a hot dog. What a waste of time. This is pointless. She's not going to scam him with so many people around.
Come on, another hour. She's about to crack. Look, they're sneaking behind the fire breather stage.
We sidled up next to the stage, and I peered my giant dragon head slowly around the corner. Oh my God, no!
What? What's happening?
I think they're going to...
Well, duh. They are dating.
Ew, I won't watch.
You have to. She'll give him a big smooch, then ask him to buy her something. I'm sure.
I looked again, but Harrison and Natalie were staring at each other with stars in their eyes. I thought I might throw up. Harrison put his hands on Natalie's waist and pulled her in closer. It was too much. I jumped back suddenly, tripping over Nathan.
Watch it.
And just then, we crashed into the fire breather's tent pole, knocking down his backdrop. The whole thing came down just as he spit out a huge plume of flame.
Get up. We need to get out of here.
Ah, get it off! I threw the costume off and realized things weren't quite as crazy as I thought. There was a small stage fire, but it was quickly put out with nearby fire extinguishers. The only people panicking were us, and everyone had noticed.
Lucy, what are you doing here?
See, I told you, they've been following me around everywhere. No, we were just here enjoying the festival.
You and that gossipy writer Nathan from the paper?
I have other friends too.
I hope you're not counting me as one of them.
What?
I'm your brother, but I don't think I can be your friend anymore. You don't even trust me.
Trust? You shouldn't have trusted her. Ask her about Operation Moolah.
OMG, that was about those rich kids I used to tutor. I told Harrison about this already.
Harrison looked so betrayed. He stormed off, taking Natalie with him, and she dared to shoot a smug smile my way. She'd won.
Don't worry about it, Lucy. Once Harrison sees the evidence, he'll understand why.
Stop it. It's over. I felt terrible. I ran away and found myself in the corner shop at school where Harrison and I used to go as kids. His face would light up when I bought him gummy worms, like they were the most precious thing in the world. I couldn't help it. I started crying.
I've never seen you break a sweat before.
Justin was towering over me in his basketball clothes. Ugh, just when I thought this day couldn't get any worse.
What's going on?
Harrison hates me. He thinks I'm overprotective.
I mean, you are though?
Now see, I'm upset.
I meant it in a nice way. You'd do anything for your brother. Even sell out my secret meal plan.
You knew?
I figured it out later, and that's when I realized you haven't got room in your heart for another guy at the moment. Not while you're still looking out for Harrison.
I thought you'd be angrier. I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible person.
Not at all. I knew you had to have a good reason. You're a good person, but it's not possible for us to move ahead.
Justin pulled his bag over his shoulder and started to walk away.
You know, if you had more faith in Natalie too, you'd probably find something worth looking for.
And with that, he was gone. But he'd given me an idea. I headed across town to the one place I'd find out who Natalie really was, her house. Natalie's mom opened the door and invited me in. The place was falling apart. We got to chatting about Natalie's home life, and then I realized how wrong I was about Natalie. I left calling Nathan. Hello? Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry. I need you to do something for me. Consider it a payment for staring at my butt all day. I'll text you through the deets later. Gotta go. I rushed home and started planning the event. It took a couple of weeks to get everything together, and Harrison was giving me the cold shoulder and was dead silent at family dinners during that time. It'll all be worth it. I gathered everyone in the front yard of Natalie's house, including Natalie's mom and Nathan. And when I saw Natalie and Harrison coming around, hit the cannons! Confetti drifted through the air as hundreds of people started cheering and waving. What's all this? When I visited the other week, your mom told me everything about your dirtbag dad walking out on you and taking everything you had and then leaving you in this place. No offense, but it's held together with crazy glue. So I wanted to do something for you, and I put together a fundraiser, with your mom's permission, of course. I don't understand. They're buying us a new house. Natalie was speechless. The first time I had ever seen her without the smug, all-knowing smile on her face.
Who are all these people? I put the word out on my network about Natalie's situation. Everyone was more than happy to pitch in. I didn't even have to blackmail anyone this time.
I elbowed Nathan in the gut. Not the time. So, Natalie, I want to apologize. Natalie's eyes started to well up, and she ran around the back of the house. Harrison followed right after her, and I couldn't help but see if everything was okay. I found them sitting on the rusty swing set, Harrison comforting Natalie. Hey, I'm sorry if I stuck my nose where it wasn't wanted. No, not at all. I really appreciate it. It's just, I don't deserve it. The truth is, when I first started seeing Harrison, I knew you were rich, like mega rich, and I thought if I got close to you, maybe I'd get some of the things I knew Mom could never afford for me, like that phone. And the ring? No, Harrison just got that for me, and I wanted to wear it and feel rich for once, to not be looked down on because I don't have as much money as everyone else. Actually, that's something Harrison and I bonded over. He got picked on for having so much money, and me for not having enough.
I thought we had something deeper than that.
We do. Once I saw how amazing you were, I felt guilty, and I couldn't possibly think of asking for money, gifts, or anything. I just wanted you, your big, innocent eyes and your charming smile. Harrison and Natalie locked eyes, and maybe I should have seen it sooner, but they really did like each other. Harrison, I'm sorry I didn't trust you.
You just need to let me make my own mistakes sometimes and meet new people. You don't have to worry. I only have one sister, and that's special, no matter what.
Harrison gave me a big hug. I didn't want to let him go again.
Not so tight from now on, okay?
I'll try. I let go.
Room for one more?
Not now, Nathan.
Aw, come on. I got